Hello there, travelers, and welcome to our story. Just turn the music down. Yeah. Hi, my name is Kieran, and I'm your guide to the world of Netherrim and many others. And we are back at the painting table again. We still got a lot to do. So, last time, when we last left our hero, I was painting some terrain for Kill Team. So this is one of the buildings that we're working on. Have not gotten the chance to work on them in between streams because I have been super busy with a lot of things around the house. I spent all day cleaning, in fact, and I am very tired. So I'll probably not stream for super long, maybe a couple hours. Just try to get a couple things done. While I was cleaning, I came across this. This was another piece to that terrain set that I completely forgot about. So I just primed it up, and I'll probably start by applying the first highlight to it. And then we'll go from there. I also have some other things, like these. So this is a set of tokens for Kill Team. It's various items that you can take, a couple of range templates, just to kind of make the game go a lot smoother, a lot easier. So I've started painting them. Some of them I've done a base coat and a wash, maybe a couple colors picked out. So I'll be working on these here and there throughout the stream, especially the range templates, because I do want to get those painted up because I'm going to be using those all the time. So yeah, that is the plan. Just keeping it nice and cozy tonight. Nothing too crazy. Hope you're all having a good night and a good start to the week. Hope you all got the day off. I certainly did. Alright, just lining things up just off camera. So yeah, so obviously I have not filmed the bat reps yet, as I had wanted to, but that is okay. Everything in its time. More than likely, at this rate, I'll probably get to it this next weekend. Just because these buildings are going to take a while, and I'm probably going to be working on them during the week in between streams. Aside from the usual Crooked Moon, I have one other stream this week on Friday. So, yeah. I'm going to be taking it pretty easy-ish stream-wise, just because I want to be working on some things in the background, like painting projects, for instance, and getting my next 4 kill teams lined up and ready to go, all that good stuff. I also am doing a bit of writing in the background, both for the kill team bat reps and for a couple of other super secret projects that I will be releasing in the future. So yeah, I'm also trying to pick up some skills, learning a little bit of video editing, a little bit of voice acting stuff, vocal exercises and whatnot, and also working on some role-playing adventures. I got the next chapter of Dark Heresy in the works, and I do also want to get started on Strangelight Workshop, which, for those who don't know, it's basically paranormal investigation in a fantasy steampunk universe, and it uses D&D 3.5, 5.0, or 5.5 technically, because it's the 2024 release. So yeah, lots of projects. Very, very busy. Let's just see if we can find some different music to put on. Ooh, Teeny's cooking in the background. She's doing some new art. I'm very excited. Now technically PNG tuber, have a model set up and everything. That's awesome. Yeah, have you done any test streams? Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk today. I remember I didn't even have so much as PNG the first test streams I did. I just kind of grabbed Streamlabs and went ham. All right, so let's get some music going. What do I feel like? I'm feeling kind of Dark Academia. No streams yet. The way to completely set up the model to be put into OBS. That is awesome. Any idea what you're gonna stream? I think first thing I did, I think it was FF14 a long time ago. My God, that was like 5.5 years ago. Oh, was I ever that young? Okay, let's put some music on. And if it is too loud, just let me know. Okay, that is very loud to me, so. Okay. That should be pretty good volume-wise. Either art streams or possibly indie game streams if your laptop allows it. Yeah. Good way to go. Indie games are always fun to watch, and you can tell I'm partially inclined towards art, so I can't draw to save my life, but miniature painting, that I can do. The actual art is what all my friends do. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, so I have to mix up the first highlight color that I used like a week ago. So how do I do that? Well, I just have happened to have the same plate that I used last time, and we have a big old splotch of that dark gray on there. So I'm going to be using that. All right, so I've got my black paint, my white paint. I'm just going to shake them up first. And I won't need very much of it this time around. Not at the moment. Not yet. And then just a little bit of white. Your first kit batch of a few broken Space Marines made a weird little forearm freak. That sounds like something the Iron Hands would do. All their servo arms and mechanical weaponry. All right, let's see if that's enough. Oh, focus. Oh, what am I going to be using to mix? Do I have... Yes, I do. I have a spare chopsticks that I think I had for dinner last night, or I used for dinner. I didn't eat the chopsticks. Okay, yeah, this should be... I think I got the mix right-ish. And the only other thing is I need a paper towel. I brought a whole roll this time, just because... what did I do with that paper towel I was using last time? It was a mess. Okay, so it's a little lighter. I think I'm gonna add a little more black to it. Just a tiny little bit. Okay. Welcome to Kieran Mixes Paint. Are you not entertained? That's a little closer to what I'm going for. Might be a little darker than what I'm going for, actually, but it's only that one step. The other steps I'll be doing along with the other terrain pieces. Black does go a hell of a long way. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay. Yep. That's very close to what we had before. Oh, hello, Maya. How's it going? Enjoy the lurk. Wait, aren't you streaming? Let me see here. Yes, you are. You're streaming Star Sand. Girl, mind your chat. Hey, Teeny, how's it going? Okay. All right. It's not like a completely dry brush. It's really kind of a semi-wet brush, but that's whatever. I'm just trying to brighten it up a little bit. Not trying to be super exact with this particular piece. I just want to get it done. To ears to listen to my friends. I saw the artwork, by the way. Ebony is looking pretty good. I'll do that stipple thing I did last time. You can tell it kind of ruined this brush, but that's okay. Quack. Hello, duck. How's it going? In the background, aside from these terrain pieces, I do actually have some more terrain on my to-do list that I'm going to be bringing in the near future. I'm very excited about some of it. Okay, that's probably good enough. Okay, so now we are just going to add a little more white to come up with our next highlight color. So yeah, so I got some very exciting terrain pieces that I cannot wait to have on the table, and I dropped my mixing stick. Probably a little too much white now that I'm looking at it. So we're going to be adding some black in a minute, and that's okay because we actually need a lot. Yeah, this is way too much white. Just been chilling. That is a good plan. I think this will look pretty good once it's mixed. One of my friends made me in Tomodachi Life and then immediately fed me Peking ducks. Oh no! Well, now you know what we've all been telling you. Duck is delicious. buy a couple things of green stuff to model your own minis. Yeah, green stuff is a really good resource. I didn't use any for a while, but then started and boom. Immediate upgrade to my painting stuff and model making. Yeah, so you can see on the cloth, that's a nice little step up. Yeah, it's okay to use this piece. So I'm not going to go as crazy with it as I did the last color, but I do want to brighten things up. The idea is that we use a little less highlight on every step. Yeah, of course it happened on Valentine's Day. Your friends wanted to introduce you to some delicious food because they love you. There we go. So it's brightened up a little bit. Okay. And then we just go forward with all the other pieces. Ah, 3-stream streak. Thank you for streaking, Teeny. Done. But yeah, the terrain that I'm really excited about, I do have an Eldar set that I want to get to at some point. Eldar terrain is really cool, but I also have on the way a full set of Chaos terrain. I found this place on Etsy that was selling it, and it is amazing looking. It's basically all of the Chaos buildings from the original Dawn of War, which is the game that made me fall in love with the 40K universe in the first place, and Chaos in particular. That was my main faction when I played at LAN parties. Went to the Warhammer Games Workshop official site and cried out, but yeah, it is pretty darn expensive. That's why, like, especially starting out in the hobby, you want to look in like eBay and local sites for like people selling armies that they're just trying to unload. Sometimes you can find some decent secondhand prices. Or honestly, like, Kill Team is a great place to start, just because you only need one box, which, granted, those boxes are like 50 to 60 bucks. So depending on your situation, it may not be super accessible, but once you get a box and paint them up, you can just go to the local game store, play some games, and go from there. Still think I'm going to be painting these panels in a metallic, but for now I'll just do them in the gray. And here's one of our craters that we were doing before. Yeah. Fate is cruel. I went from an anime enthusiast into the world of 40K, as it was like one insanely expensive hobby after another. the only reason I have so many models is that I've spent years and years building up this collection. Hey, Quaver, how's it going? Gateway into 40k, to make a long story short, was Bolt Gun, stemming from my fascination with retro FPS and Doom. Ooh, I still have not played Bolt Gun, but it looks super fun. And very nostalgic, because I, too, played my share of Doom. Got into Warhammer specifically. Yeah, friends are often gateway drugs. Friends, acquaintances, siblings, things like that. For me, it was my friend group at the time when I was first starting college. Long time ago. Like I said, we had those LAN parties. I had this one friend who lived a couple towns over from the college campus, and on weekends, like every other week or so, we would go to his house on Saturday night and just play LAN games until dawn. And then we'd go back to the dorm and crash. Played a lot of like Call of Duty and stuff like that, but then we also played a sizable amount of the first Dawn of War. And I had no idea what 40k was. I just knew I liked RTSs because I was a big Warcraft fan. Like, Warcraft 2 was one of the first games I really, really got into in my teen years. Played a lot of that. And so Dawn of War was very similar to that, but in this cool gothic sci-fi universe. I was like, oh man, this world's really neat. And these Chaos guys are awesome. They got these silly orcs and these cool like space elves and... yeah, everyone's for this Emperor guy, whoever he is. I had no idea. But like one of my friend group at that time was super into 40k stuff. So he like gave us little bits and pieces of it every now and then. He tried to like homebrew a role-playing game based on it. And I had no idea what I was doing with it. I think I played like a guardsman or something like that, and I blew up a bad guy by hucking a melt-a-bomb at him. I was like, whoa, this universe is awesome. And then several years later, like I'd left that college and most of that friend group, we'd kind of like split up and gone our own ways. And I was living with another friend at the time. We were roomies. And I was looking for something to do because I was working like a really boring job. So I wanted something to kind of occupy me during the daylight hours. And so I started thinking about Dawn of War and playing that, and I started looking into the world that it was from. I was like, okay, what is this like 40k stuff about? And then I learned not only is it a very expansive and rich universe with a ton of literature and lore, also it's a tabletop game. And I was like, oh, I like board games. What's this about? And I looked, and it's like, oh, you build and paint the miniatures yourself, and there's like a lot of cool options that you have there, and oh, Chaos is one of the major factions. Hello. So I got myself a Chaos Battle Force and a bunch of tools, and the rest is history. I'm just trying to recreate the magic of those nights at the LAN parties. I stumbled upon this massive hobby that has stayed with me for a long, long time. And enabled me to meet a lot of cool people and share my love of it with others. And I've even been able to bring it into my VTubing. then just by happenstance, the Space Marine games came out, and I love Space Marine. It's easily one of my favorite video games. And that caught a lot of eyes amongst larger VTubers, and suddenly, like, everyone and their brother is doing react videos to, like, the Bricky Warhammer lore videos, and there's a couple big VTubers that are even, like, playing Darktide with him, and it's become very well known in the VTubing space. Every time I see that, there is a part of me, there is, like, that nerd snob part of me, when, like, these big names and stuff start talking about Warhammer, and it's like, do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. But it is so great to see Warhammer becoming more and more well-known, because it's such a great universe. It's such a great game. Say what you will about Games Workshop and their business practices, but I love the 40k universe. It's been a really fun outlet, a way to meet some fun people, a great source of creative inspiration. I've got Space Marine 2 as a pack-in with my PS5, and then essentially sealed the deal. Yeah. Space Marine 2 is so good! And I cut my teeth on the original Space Marine, which was also amazing, but super unknown. Not a lot of people were into it. Which is a shame, because that game is really great. I think Space Marine 2 is somehow an improvement on it, which I did not expect. But that first one was great, especially the multiplayer. The multiplayer in the first one, as in like the PvP mode, I argue is better than the PvP mode in 2. Because as far as I can tell in Space Marine 2, because I've only played a little bit of the PvP, I'm not super into the PvP stuff in games in general. As far as I can tell, they don't have the loadout copy feature, which was in Space Marine 1 PvP. If somebody killed you, you could see in the you died screen what their loadout was, and then you could copy it. So when you respawn, you have all the same gear as them. And like when you die, obviously you lose it all, and you can't like recopy them unless they're the one that killed you the second time. But it was a really fun way to kind of like show you what gear is out there and let you play around with different builds before you even unlock the stuff. It's great. How does the Space Marine games play? It's a third-person shooter, and it's super fun. And the controls feel a little clunky, but that's the point, because you are in a 7.5 foot tall demigod in enough power armor to cover a tank. So you're supposed to feel like big and clunky and cumbersome, and it's great. Yeah, like I've played with Teeny and Maya and a few other people. I played with Mocha a little bit, trying to get her to play with me again. It's so much fun. And like it helps to have played the first Space Marine, but it's not a requirement. They kind of fill you in enough that you get an idea of what's going on. And the multiplayer mode is great because it's not only PvP, there's also some co-op. You do like cooperative missions where you're playing as a squad of Space Marines who are helping out the main character during the story. So you're kind of like the B team that's doing the side missions, which is really cool. And there's also the Siege mode, which is like a survival mode. It's super fun. I love Siege. Slower paced Warframe. Kind of, yeah. I've only played a little Warframe, but I see where you're going with that. It's like $80. More like 60-ish, question mark. Depends if you get the special edition. The special edition's like 80. And that includes a bunch of like DLC cosmetics and things. Nothing like, it's not pay to win. It's just pay to look pretty. First piece that we were working with earlier. So, yeah, I'm being a little bit messy with it. I know I'm not being super exact, but that's okay. It's just kind of, it's background terrain, so it's okay if it looks a little weird and grungy. I'll be a little more exact when I do the detailing, but brighten it up and do it in a fairly expedient manner without, you know, rushing. Okay. That's that. Wonder how hard the 3D models go for Warhammer, like if there's a thriving modeling community for buildings and other things. Oh, the Warhammer community is amazing, and it is so enormous and immersive. Ton of people doing all sorts of really fun projects. And one channel that really got me into the hobby, like especially the tabletop end of it, was Mini Wargaming. I've actually talked with those guys a couple times. They're really cool. They put out a lot of like battle reports and painting tutorials and other types of hobby videos. They have a series where they show you how they film their battle reports, which is something I'm going to be drawing on a little bit when I make my own. I'm going to be probably trying to develop my own style, but I'll be using some of their basics, some of the basic mechanics that they do, as far as like the filming end of it. One thing I know that I want to do is really capitalize on my writing background and create like a fun interconnected story between all the battle reports. My favorite thing as far as Warhammer goes is Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is great too. They came out with a new edition of Blood Bowl recently. I've been meaning to read up on that. And build the teams in the new starter box, the Bretonnians and the Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings are awesome. I love them in Warhammer Fantasy. So I would be very curious to see how they play in Blood Bowl, especially 3rd edition or 3rd season. Detail they put into Space Marine 2 was so fun. Like once I learned that Captain Acheran was based on the Phobos Captain model, I couldn't unsee it. Yeah. It's so great seeing all like the fun tabletop stuff that they threw into the game. It's so good. So good. It's like you'll see something that they put in the background and be like, oh yeah, that's blah 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 blah. Like they put a lot of little Easter eggs in there for Warhammer nerds. So like it's got that mass appeal effect where it's just a really fun game on its own, even if you're not super into Warhammer. But if you are, there's a lot of things in the background that you can spot. And I will never not be happy about how they portrayed the Chaos Space Marines. Like, particularly Thousand Suns. Because, like, when you kill them, they explode into all, like, that pinkish purple dust. And it's like, yes, that is lore accurate. The Rubric Marines are indeed just dust on the inside of that armor. They do not have physical forms anymore. And I'm so happy that whoever designed that game remembered that. And the sorcerers still bleed, yes. God. And then with the Tyranids, when you kill like the warriors and the zoanthropes, there's that psychic backlash because of the whole synapse thing they got going on. It's chef's kiss. Like, I'm so happy they did their homework. Need another paper towel. So yeah, I love that game so much. It's just, it really does make you feel like a Space Marine. Especially when you run into guardsmen and they're like 2 feet, they're 2 feet shorter than you. And they're just kneeling, being like, "Oh, my lord." It's like, yes, that is correct. I am your lord, kneel. My only complaint about Space Marine is what I think a lot of people would complain about. And that is, Ultramarines, really? Of all the chapters, with all the really cool, rich lore out there, you go with the Ultramarines. The grilled chicken with salt and pepper of the Space Marine world. And I get it. The Ultramarines are like the big poster boys among Space Marines. They're the jack of all trades. They're good in pretty much every way. They're one of the only chapters that has a Primarch that actually came back so far. I get it. But man. That's why I like the Dawn of War games so much, because they focus on the Blood Ravens, which are way more interesting to me. And if you look into the lore around the Blood Ravens, having them in Space Marine 2 would have made a lot of sense. Because the whole unknown Primarch thing that they've got going on, and the implication that they may in fact be a loyalist splinter of a traitor legion. Specifically, I prescribe to the theory, it's a pretty common theory now, that the Blood Ravens are in fact a splinter chapter of the Thousand Sons, which would explain why so many Blood Ravens are Psykers. They got that Magnus gene. Sense of scale is immaculate, especially when I was watching the Crooked Space Marine VOD and found that the Hierophant was in the open of that PvP. Yeah. It's so good. I love that they threw in a Hierophant. Blood Ravens are technically in the first game. Yes, they had a little cameo near the end. They arrived to help out the Ultramarines, and Titus makes a reference to the Aurelian Crusade, which is the plot of Dawn of War 2. So I appreciate that they did that. That was like them throwing a bone to the Dawn of War fans. So I appreciate that. But there's so much that they can do with Blood Ravens that they're great. As Space Marines go, they are my favorite chapter. That's why I have a lot of painted Blood Ravens in my collection. Including Gabriel Angelos. The Black Templars? I can't remember seeing them, but for some reason that's triggering a memory. Like, I swear I remember hearing Black Templars in the first Space Marine, but I can't remember seeing them. If they are in there, it's at the same point, like right at the end, during like the final gauntlet before the boss fight. Yeah, and I like all the little references. Like in the first Space Marine, you're in this chamber that's like, it's massive, of course, because 40k and everything is huge in there. And you're in this huge refrigerated chamber where this weapon or power source of some kind is being kept. And one of your squad mates goes, It's colder than a space wolf's smile in here. I was like, yes. That's a great reference. It's always fun when they include Space Wolves. I understand them not using Space Wolves as main characters because they're a little crazy, but dang, are they fun. These are coming out pretty decent. Don't have a lot of desk space to work with. That's my complaint here. At least stream for a little bit, charge my laptop. Yeah, that's fair. Have a good dinner. Probably be here. Well, streaming for like at least another hour and a half. Definitely at least want to get the highlights done on these buildings. And hopefully start in on the detail work. We'll see. I did also want to do a little dry brushing on that statue. The one that I'm going to be doing in kind of a gold bronze. With some verdigris. It's hard to pick my favorite Loyalist chapter, but if I had to pick, it'd probably be Space Wolves or Blood Angels. Those are valid. Salamanders are valid too. Yeah, I really like the Salamanders, personally. I think the Blood Angels have a really fun aesthetic. I like the whole, like, kind of tragic Catholic look of them. Especially because, like, my family is half Catholic. And I went to a Catholic college, so it's an aesthetic I'm very familiar with. It definitely fits the Gothic feel. And I do like their backstory, the whole, like, going crazy, the Black Rage, the Red Thirst, and all that. I think the only reason I didn't get into Blood Angels when I was thinking about collecting a Space Marine chapter is, at the time in the game, they were absurdly overpowered. Like, Blood Angels were just, if you saw someone pull those out, you were like, all right, let's call it. That they were that good, and I hated that. I do not like meta armies. I like playing armies because I like them. So that kind of, it turned me off to collecting them. But I think they're fine now. I think the general balance in the game is way better than it used to be. Although I think Genestealer cults still need some love. Because they are severely underpowered in my opinion. But that's okay. I'm still going to play them. Because I love Genestealer cults. They're so much fun. I love the Mad Max look of them and how horrifying their backstory is. The fact that they're all like, yeah, we're serving the Star Children. They're going to liberate our world from the yoke of the Imperium. And then they overthrow the planet and the Tyranids come. And then the Hive Mind releases them from control. And they're like, oh, God, what have we done? Right before they get eaten. So horrific. So it's very Lovecraftian though, which is why I did the whole King in Yellow color scheme on mine. I need to get more of them painted and have like a full painted Genestealer cult army. That would look so good all together on the table. Ride or die with the Death Guard because of my Nurgle bias. Yeah, Death Guard is great. There's so many good factions. That's another thing I really like about 40k. It's like, yes, the Space Marines are the poster boys, and you can tell they get the most love. Because they get the most updates. They have like more models than several other factions combined. I get that. Those are the big money makers, but like, every faction has something that you can attach to in it. Every faction has something really cool about it. Even the Tau. Which honestly, there was an era when I really liked the Tau story-wise. I thought they had a really cool lore to them, and they still do. But I also see the problems with them. But they are lovable little weeaboo space communists. But yeah, I love how every faction, like, people can explain why they like it, and you'd be like, that's valid. I don't think there's any faction in it where I think about them and I'm like, why would anyone like this? Animated shows about Plague Marine's horrific transformation into a Nurgle Chaos spawn. It just goes to shit. Yes! Yeah, body horror is awesome. I also really like Pariah Nexus. If y'all get access to Warhammer Plus at any point, I highly recommend watching it. Pariah Nexus is really cool. Definitely got kind of a hopeless feel to it, but it's really fun. And like the main characters are, there's a Necron Deathmark who's kind of the antagonist, who I believe he's working for Illuminator Xeris, I think. And then there's, on the Imperium side, there's a Sister of Battle, who's kind of crazy, and a Salamander. And I thought that was awesome, because, like, Salamanders don't really get a lot of personal attention and screen time like that. So it was really cool to make, like, the Salamander was basically the main character. What? Nacho, hello, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Raiders, hello. My name is Kieran, if you're not familiar, and I am your guide to the world of Nazarium and many others. I'm a fantasy writer, model painter, and comfy specialist. And tonight, we are doing some of that model painting. We're currently dry brushing some buildings for use in the tabletop game Kill Team, which is a Warhammer 40k skirmish game. So if you like painting, you like comfy vibes, you just want to hang out and chat, you are more than welcome. I hope your stream went well. Everyone, please go and check out Nacho. They are freaking adorable. Rather EP has gotten so late. That is fair. Yeah, if you have to raid and run, I completely understand. I will take excellent care of your chat. But it's really good to see you. It's been a minute. Sorry about the focus here. Gotta sit down and paint my Skaven still. Ooh, yeah. I remember you getting started on that project. It's exciting. Love painting some rats. So I think we're not quite at the final step of this dry brushing, but we're getting there. I think we'll probably have like maybe 2 more highlights to do. And that was the last piece actually, so we can make our next highlight. Stream was great. Finished up with day 1 of Nachithon, an art marathon. Ooh, nice. I'm very pleased with productivity. Oh, I'm proud of you. It's so great. Started watching Hell's Kitchen. We already made it halfway through season 2. That's awesome. Have I had a good day? Yeah, it's been all right. It's been pretty productive. I haven't gotten to do a whole lot of painting today until now, but I did a lot of cleaning. There's a lot of work that needs to be done at home, so I've been trying to take care of that. Hopefully this isn't too bright. Yeah, it should be okay. Rat ogres are going to be fun because I want to use a combination of Korax white for the bear skin as well as the wraithbone fur. Ooh, like albino rat ogres? That could be interesting. That could be really striking, especially combined with like the uniform colors. So I need to do a whole lot of home chores and organizing. Yes, it is a constant battle. Ugh, I feel like I'm treading water. Like, I swept the kitchen today. I'm going to mop it tomorrow. But it feels like 2 days after I finish that, just thanks to the fur babies, it's just going to be back to where it was. Like, within the week. So I need to get in a more regular schedule of taking care of that. Oh, those fur babies. So I think this might be the final highlight. So I'm gonna really try to wipe off a lot. It feels like a waste, but that's why I'm using the cheap paint. Yeah, I think this will do for a final highlight. It's bright enough to be kind of eye-catching, but still dark enough that it's not gonna like dominate the sight. A lot of the focus will still be on the models. So yeah, oh, for those who don't know, the reason I'm painting this in the first place is I'm going to be filming a series of battle reports. So I'll be actually playing some games of Kill Team and filming them. And then writing a little story for each one. Each of the teams will have their own little backstory, and all the members of each team will be named. So there's some personal investment there. I'd be very curious to see if anyone like attaches to any of the teams in particular and really roots for them. So we'll see. It's new content that I'm going to be rolling out, so I want to see how it does. Well, she likes to make me work. She watches from high up. Yes. Mine like to gather on my bed, and then they just kind of stare at me judgmentally. Oops. Okay, so that should do it, I think, for this big building. Obviously, there's a lot of detail that I'm going to go in and pick out later. Let's see. Now all the little pieces of the ruined bits. Typical cat behavior, yeah. They are brats. Oops. Yeah, I do think I'm going to be doing these panels in metal, which is... It's going to take some time, unfortunately, but I think it'll look nice. The cat is eeping on my bed currently. Need to move some stuff around, but aww, don't have the heart to wake them up. That's, yeah. I run into that a fair bit, especially with my Halloween cat, my little Void, Salem. She she gets very indignant when I try to move her, but she also likes being in the way. Currently I'm using my hand to kind of wipe off some of this. I'm gonna have to wash my hands pretty thoroughly after a little bit. Probably when I finish highlighting these building pieces. I just realized I completely forgot to be dry brushing the big building while I've been at it. Man. Alright, I'll do that one off stream, I think. It's just been sitting across the table staring at it this entire time. It's not like I didn't see it. Smoochums likes to give me the hell you think you're doing if she's disturbed. Ooh, that sounds like Pippa. Yeah. Pippa is she's a little firecracker. She's a Blue Point Siamese, very, very pretty cat. Gorgeous blue eyes, and she's very cute, and she knows it, which is unfortunate. So if you try to tell her no, like with some of the other cats, like let's say I'm trying to go down in the basement, but like this time of year, the basement's freezing and I don't want the cats going down there. So if I see them standing at the door, I'll just like gently shoo them away and they'll run off. And it's no problem. If it's Pippa though, Pippa, if I try to shoo her, she will just give me this look and this little like, like this little indignant noise. Like, how dare you? Yeah. Oh, that emote's so cute. Yes, she's extremely snarky. And she thinks she's cute enough to get away with it. She's cute enough to get away with some stuff, but only to a point. Is she right? Sometimes, but the thing is, like, too much of that attitude drastically reduces the cute factor. There's like a proper cute to brat ratio where it's acceptable. But after that point, we'll get it. She'll forward this information to cat authorities. The cat's the same way. If we stop giving her pats, she'll meow quite loudly at me, like, "Don't stop, father, love me." Yeah. Aw. It's been hard this winter with them. Trying to keep them warm mostly, because for those who don't know, my furnace is broken, and unfortunately I can't get it fixed until spring, because there's stuff frozen in the pipes. So the house has been very, very cold. Especially like a couple weeks back, we had that big freeze and this massive snowstorm, and yeah. But we're all hanging in there. Hot drinks, yeah. I've had a lot of space heaters on, so my electric bill's kind of shot up a little bit, but it's probably cheaper than if I had the furnace going, because those oil bills can be brutal. So I've got the heating blanket on my bed, so that'll get us through the nights. So normally, like especially during the summer, I don't let the cats in my room at night because I don't want to get woken up by them. But I've made an exception for the winter so we can all huddle up together. Okay, almost done. Oops. So, like I said last time, I think I am gonna, these doors, I'm probably gonna do a different color. I'm thinking like a blue of some kind. I think that would look good. That's why I haven't been going over them super heavily. a lot of metallics that I have to pick out. Okay. Craters. Take care of them. And then I think I will take care of that big building. I need to get that done anyway. So might as well just get it done now while I have the black and white paints handy. Because I don't think I'm going to be using them for any other terrain pieces in the near future, so I may as well just get it all done in one night. Even if it means retracing a few steps. From dinner. Hey, welcome back. I discovered I made a mistake and I have to retrace some steps. That is okay. Better that I caught it now than like after stream. Be like, heck. Okay, that should take care of the craters. All right. Yeah, looking at them over there, they're looking pretty okay. But yeah, there is this big old building that I completely ignored. So we have to go back, retrace our steps. And try and figure out the previous highlight colors. So we're going to be darkening up this mix quite a bit, and then probably throwing some more white in a second. Actually, may not need to. It is brightening up quite a bit. Yeah, I think it'll be okay, actually, now I'm looking at it. Yeah. I don't know if it's actually going to be too bright. We'll see. Just end up becoming even better at improvising. Yeah! Every mistake is a lesson. By that measure, I should be amazing at everything by now. All right. So that is quite a bit of a brightness upgrade, but it's okay. Brush strokes are a little bit messy, but it's actually kind of okay because it just makes it look kind of grungy and gross. And I think that's kind of the point of these ruined buildings. They should look messy. Again, these panels are probably going to be metal, but piece right here kind of reminds me of Raft. That's another fun game. Recently started accepting messiness in my art renders, especially because that can emulate realness. Yeah. Ooh, I just felt a loose panel. Have to be careful. Welcome back. This will be fun to paint, this bit right here. Sorry if I have to do some of this off camera. It's just a really big piece, so. This will look really striking when this piece is done. It's just going to be a lot of work. I can see a lot of places where I'll probably put in some gold accents. I'm going to have to do some bone color. And the lights, of course. All the skeletons that are just part of the architecture. Should do for this highlight. Throw in a little bit more white, brighten it up. My hand feels tacky and gross from all the paint on it. Where did I put the... Where's my mixing stick? Oh, there you are. Ah. Dropping things. Okay. Falling everywhere. Okay. Start the outside this time. the shaky table. The spikes I'll probably do in metal when I start picking out bits. I can also see a lot of rebar sticking out of the broken portions. Hit that stuff. A lot of detail in this boy. So it may not even make it into the first battle report, honestly. I think just with those shorter buildings and a couple other pieces that I'm working on, I should have plenty of terrain to work with, but this particular terrain piece I've had for a long time, so it's long overdue for a painting. So I'm not going to highlight as much like down in here. It's mostly where like the light would normally hit. So I'm kind of going in like a triangle formation with that. That should be enough for that coat. Need more white. I'm actually getting a set of other cheap paints in different colors. So when I do future terrain projects, I won't have this kind of slate gray for every building. It's pretty much just going to be this batch that I do in that. Like the chaos buildings that are coming in, I'm going to be doing those in dark red to kind of match my word bearers. I think that'll look kind of nice. I'm probably going to make metal too. It's very comforting just hearing you work with the brush. Oh, I'm glad. I never know exactly like how the sounds come off, if it's like if it's grating to the ears or if it's like ASMR-y. Which I do plan to do more ASMR content, so if there's stuff I'm doing that scratches that itch, definitely let me know. I remember a while ago, I was talking to Yami-sensei, and I had a cup of tea with me, and I was just kind of like stirring it idly while we were talking. And he mentioned that the sound of the spoon clinking against the sides of the cup was actually really soothing. So I think I'll get in the habit of doing that more. I don't have any tea with me tonight, but it's like listening to Bob Ross. Yay, mission accomplished. I have, on a couple occasions, not recently, but in the past, I've been referred to as the VTuber Bob Ross, and I take that as an enormous compliment. Bob Ross was the man. It's like a dude who went off to war, came back, and was like, you know what? I'm going to devote my life to making people feel comfortable and love themselves. That is pretty boss right there. It's part of the trinity of wholesomeness with Mr. Rogers and Steve Irwin. Whole, like, be kind to strangers, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. The world really needs that right now. Smoky desserts. Aw, thank you. I really appreciate that. I know I'm not like a lot of VTubers. I'm not like outwardly loud and wacky. I have my gremlin side, but usually that's in collabs that comes out. But I really like having this kind of low-key, very relaxed feel to my streams. Definitely the painting streams. When I first started, I was having trouble finding my niche, finding really who I was as a streamer. And I realized I really like the idea of being that place people can go at the end of a long day and just kind of relax, be among friends, chat for a bit, and just come away from it feeling a little better than when they arrived. I like that. I like being a safe space for people. I actually spent a lot of my life worried about whether people actually liked being around me. I know this sounds like a weird thing to say, but I worried about being boring. I worried about people feeling unsafe. So, like one of the best compliments I could possibly receive is knowing that people like spending time with me and that, you know, they feel comfortable around me. In video games, I may enjoy tanking and DPS, but in real life, I am a healer type. Which is why I do what I do. Alright, so I think we're going for the final highlight here on the big building. So threw in a substantial amount of white. It'll be pretty bright. I know what it feels like to not have a safe space, and it's not a great feeling. So if I can be that for others, then I don't care if I never blow up. Numbers-wise, not like physically. I would rather not, you know, spontaneously combust. But I think a lot of people are just in this gig for the wrong reasons. It's about them instead of being about the people that they're trying to help. Because that's what entertainment is. You're helping people in your own way. It's ironic because, like, when you're an entertainer, you're in the spotlight, but, like, I still insist, even if that's the case, it's still not about you. Hi, chat. Combust. I grant you, that would make for a really interesting clip, and that stream would be very memorable. I don't have a lot of like really standout clips, so that would definitely make for an interesting one. Also be my last, but talk about going out with a bang. Not to mention, like, just the surprise of it. Of all people, it's Kieran. Who spontaneously combusts and explodes on stream. That comfy wolf guy? Like, really? He just exploded? Yeah. For national television. Oh my god. I finally make front page. I feel like Mocha might take issue with that, though. Should probably be slightly upset. Okay. All right. I think that should do it for this big old building. Yeah, doesn't look half bad. All right, so that actually does it for the grays. Find table space for it without having it fall off. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're fine. All right, so I'm just gonna dunk that brush in the water, let that soak. Just appreciate the series of coincidences that led me here. Like if I wasn't interested in DMing Crooked Moon, I wouldn't have found Teeny's Crooked Tail series, which led to you and my yeah. I had no idea that Crooked Moon would open so many doors, honestly. When Teeny asked me, I've told this story before. I was genuinely worried about joining the group because I didn't think I'd be entertaining enough compared to all the other people in it. Because it's Maya, it's Ven, it's Harmony. I didn't know Kage that well at the time, but I've gotten to know her since then, which is awesome. And then like having Teeny as the ringleader of this whole thing, like there's so much personality in that group. I was worried that I would just kind of be there, just kind of in the background, which is why I made a fighter, honestly. I was just like, all right, I'll just sit there and hit things, and then I don't have to talk that much. And then Lloyd ended up becoming like a standout character and like attracting notice, and it's been so great. I've gotten to meet so many people as a result. There was that time the Evantris people came into chat, like that was awesome. Well, let me I'm okay. What are we doing next? There was like one occasion where like someone connected to Evantris showed up in the chat. I can't remember exactly what episode it was. I have to look back through all the VODs. Hundreds of hours. Yeah. Okay, good. Tina confirmed it. Like for a second there, I was like, "Oh God, did I just have like a Mandela effect moment where it's like they'd never actually talk to us?" And I just like, yeah. Just like, oh God, did I just like hallucinate the entire thing? So when we were in Foxville, yes, that arc. Oh my God. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I kind of want to use that brush to do the big dry brushing on the Chaos Gate. It's a few episodes too late. Yeah. It's been such a fun adventure. I really can't wait for some reveals that will be coming in the near future, too. Were you guys talking about it? But I wasn't there for... Yeah. It was just a completely random happenstance that one day. An apropos of nothing. They just showed up. So, yeah, I'm telling you, Teeny, if you want me to message them and be like, hey guys, want to play Power Wash sometime? I'll do it. I have their contact information. Let's see. Oh, here's a little bit of dry brushing I can do. All right, if I can find the colors for it, I can do a little bit with the range templates. Don't want to be weird, but man, kind of what? Honestly, I think they would have a great time. There is so much personality amongst like the non-Kieran members of that group. I think they would really enjoy it. And we could talk Crooked Moon, we could talk other role-playing games. With the funny 3 numbers in the back too. Okay. Aha. Found it. Okay. So we're gonna take some aged bone, and we are gonna be dry brushing these range templates. There's a lot of skulls in there. If I can remember what I did with my wet palette. What did I do with my wet palette? Thanks for the help, Mike. Don't know what I do with you without you. I had it. I had the palette here. No. Ah. Under a couple building pieces. Actually, it doesn't really need new parchment paper. Okay. So, this is the same sheet I was using last night to do some extra painting. Are all those skulls textured? Yep. Yep. So I'm just going to soak the sponge a little bit. A little too much, so we'll just pour off the excess into the paint cup, the water cup. There we go. And our wet palette is ready to go. All right. I said this to you before, but y'all clearly have so much love for the module and yeah. Especially like, I'm a very character-driven person. When I'm writing my stories, which I should maybe test the waters and see if y'all want me to do that on stream again, read some of my stuff. But when I'm writing something, the characters is the most important component for me. So, the same is true when I'm playing a role-playing game. Like, when I created Lloyd, I immediately got to work on all, like, the background lore around him. And it's been great watching him grow. Okay. So. Still need to get a wet palette. Yeah, I mean, I've been painting for a long, long time, and this is the first time I've actually gotten one. So right now, I'm just dry brushing up with the base color that I used, the aged bone. So it's not going to show up super obviously right now, because all I did, I base coated and then washed it with some brown. he just kind of brightens them up a little bit, makes the shadow stand out a little more. Yeah, oh, there's so many little stories and journal entries and things about Lloyd that have not seen the light of day. I've just been sharing them secretly. Not to mention, like, the truth about his past, where he's from, how he knows how to fight, where his powers come from, and of course, the true nature of Blue Lloyd. Because there's a whole story about that. Yes, when Lloyd turns blue, something went wrong. Or something is about to go wrong for the bad guy. I love especially that it's like I've kind of conditioned the other members of the group to be really on edge if they hear me go. Same way, to be honest, like one of the characters I've created was a half-elf bard with religious trauma, essentially. Ooh. Get the idea and set about fleshing it out into a full character. The only thing I struggle with is coming up with names. Fair. Honestly, I use baby names. Babynames.com, that's where I get a lot of character names from. At least the first names. That's how it was for Lloyd, actually. I wasn't sure what his first name was going to be, and then I saw Lloyd and saw what it meant. I was like, yep, that makes sense. Just flailing my hands when I hear it. Just with you in general. Me or Teeny? I guess both, really. See religious trauma like it isn't watching a loved one get brutally sacrificed in front of him. Ooh. I'm like the type of guy to give a full monologue on why the food he's eating isn't the greatest. I mean, it might be the case if he ate, but he doesn't need to because he's the Harvestborn. The only time he has ever eaten anything or tried to was thanks to a twist. When he suddenly had an insatiable desire to eat bones. And I love that I was able to reproduce the sound effect. Because I happened to have some very crunchy cookies on me that night. Yeah, that was a great episode. That and the... I think we ended up calling the episode A Game of Thrones. It's the episode where both Lloyd and Nell got the same twist that they were monarchs of a forgotten kingdom. And then Maya and I, like, on the spot, came up with the plan, like, oh, we are going to hurl Shakespearean insults at each other the whole time. So I looked up the Shakespearean insult generator and sent it along to her, and off we went. That was definitely a highlight. Completely derailed the plot for an episode, but dang, was it fun. Yes, Scorpius versus the glorious kingdom of Gordia. Oh, Gabby, thank you for the hydrate. And hello, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We are currently highlighting lots and lots of skulls. I'm liking it, but I think we can take it further. We can go a step beyond. I want to redeem one of the point rewards, but if you have the result, would kill me with laughter. I mean, that's what they're there for. Let's see. How does this compare? That is a little bit brighter. All right. So we're going to try something I haven't really done a whole lot of. We're going to be highlighting even further by doing some vampiric highlights. We'll see if this works. Ah, a petafloof. Very well. We shall indeed pet the floof. Let's see. Here's my updated one. Ah, yes. Oh, big. There we go. Yeah. Oh god, it's under the beret. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Just get this out of the... Oh! Get the beret out of the way. There we go. Yeah. Worst case scenario, Kieran disables it so you can't do it. The compliment redeems yes. Especially the ASMR compliments. Can we double the size of the hand? Hell yeah, we can. Yeah! Large pats. Skull-crushing pats. I think we might actually do a highlight of pure white after this. A very, very, very light highlight. So many skulls. Skulls for the skull throne. Cool and a good writer in VTuber. I accept the compliment. So many skull. I got complimented this time. Okay. That'll do. I think I did this out already. Yeah. And then some white. This spent 20k channel points once to give someone else enough for a redeem, and then it turned out I didn't need to, so now I'm pretty far back. Yes. The only made Kiki redeem in recent history was Maya's despicable act of spite and vengeance. Bring that away for a little bit. My hat back on. It's funny to be fair. If you say so. There we go. Just a little bit of white. Just to kind of brighten it up a little bit in here. Oh, yeah. Good girl. Almost done with this range ruler. I still have to decide what I'm going to do with the colors in it, aside from the skulls. Did you hear about the new news about Total Warhammer 40k? Not recently. I know that there is a Total Warhammer 40k coming out. I was thinking actually of using orange as the color of the circles around the numbers. But I don't know about the rings. Maybe white, honestly. Though I was going to use white for the numbers too. Okay, so the skulls are done, and I think they look pretty good. If the camera wants to focus. Well, focus for a second. There we go. Yeah, so many skulls. Gordon would be pleased. So yeah, so the borders I'm probably going to do in like a dark silver. This design, the Kill Team design, that I'm not sure. Maybe a gold. Or like a bronze or something. Let's see. They announced there's going to be 3 game modes, and players fight over scenarios and systems and can aid factions. Like if Space Marines help out a unique guard regiment or base unit, that army group will show up in the next sector the player fights for, as each faction will have a unique storyline for the galaxy since they want to follow main 40k lore. That's pretty cool. It's very immersive. I like it. I don't know if I'm going to play that particular game myself, just because I did play a little bit of the Warhammer Fantasy Total War. I couldn't really get into it. I don't know, like that large scale kind of thing isn't as accessible to me as like a shooter. But I'd be very interested to see what they do with it. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So let's see if I can find some oranges. Not the mythical fruit, but paints. That, by the way, was a Crooked Moon inside joke. Ah. Yes. Okay. There's one of the colors we need. Yep. And then do we have explosion orange? Explosion orange or not? Highlight orange. Let's see. Gonna be a mix of Halo Wars, Rogue Trader, and Total War. Since they announced units can explore the star system and map for unique treasures while controlling planets and provinces. Nice. Alright. Definitely sounds like they're putting a lot of love into it. You explosion orange? You are. Okay, we've got our oranges. So we've got Magma Red for our undercoat, Lava Orange for a mid-tone, and Explosion for the highlight color. Okay. But first, we need to do the numbers. So we're going to do those in white. Just pure white. Probably going to be a couple of coats. We're doing white on black, so. I am glad that I got this wet palette because that enables me to kind of thin the paint down a little bit with water without even really trying to get it to flow into the crevice here. These range templates are really cool because they're pretty much all you will need to play a game of some Kill Team. More or less. Some weapons are 8 inches, so this only measures 1, 2, 3, and 6. I suppose I could try to do the rings while I'm at it. Again, it's going to take a couple of coats. Just gotta play Rogue Trader and Mechanicus, especially since Mechanicus 2 is coming out. I did play a little bit of Mechanicus. It was fun. So they put Rogue Trader on Switch 2. Well, interesting. I still have to play Dark Heresy. Like, I pre-ordered it and everything to get into the alpha, and yet I still haven't done a lot with it. I just think I wasn't... I think I was going through something when I first intended to play it on stream. And then... So I didn't feel up to streaming. I was just too worn out and exhausted. And then I just never got back to it, so... What I think I might do with that, I've noticed my game streams don't really do that well. I don't know if it's scheduling of them, because it's usually like for the weekend at night, and like think we're back. Okay, we're back. I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, ADHD. You crazy. Oh, yeah. So, there is a collab we're doing somewhere in the future. It's the Elysium one. Because there, Teeny, if you're still there, you know what I'm talking about. There's a particular game that Maya really wanted to play with us. And so we are going to, at the potential cost of our friendship. So that should be fun. Okay. A dad joke. A dad joke, you say? You know, scientists recently discovered how to weigh rainbows. Turns out they're pretty light. I did also have a rim shot sound effect, but for some reason that's been messing up lately. But oh, another potential collab coming up. Still have to figure out the details with her, but looks like Mocha and I are going to be playing something Warhammer based. Because it turns out a lot of her community are Warhammer fans. So that'll be fun. Get to see us purge heretics and Xenos while also watching me rage bait her. Hee 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 hee. Going to War Games Hobby Shop on my birthday this year, and I'm hopeful that I might have Blood Bowl stuff. Ooh, yeah, they probably will. Glory to Slaanesh, yeah. And Papa Nurgle. Nurgle loves you. So actually, if you think about it, Valentine's Day is really just an Urgle holiday. Because he loves everybody. Do we get a hint as to what game you two are playing? We actually don't know yet. Maybe Space Marine 2? Because I know we both have that, because I got it for her a while ago. We have played a little bit of the campaign together, and then we both got really, really busy with stuff. So. Speaking of which, Mocha actually released her own waifu cup. Yay. I'm very proud of her. I just got word that my pre-order is being shipped. Yeah, you'll probably see her on stream before then too, because I know she was thinking about stopping by when I do my birthday stream in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna be really busy on the day itself, but probably that following weekend I'll do a little something. Nuffle fans rise up. I do like that Blood Bowl has its own story and like this alternate universe of Warhammer. Instead of like, oh, look at this ancient game, this forgotten god. Like, let's do away with all war and just play this instead. You can still like brutalize and kill each other, but in a game. Yeah, Blood Bowl's great. That is something Mocha and I can play, because we have played Blood Bowl together before. But I think she hates playing it with me. Because I always destroy her. In my defense, she did opt to play goblins, which, even though they are potentially a really scary team to face, they do have a high learning curve, and she hasn't spent enough time with them to have really learned how to use them. So that's not on me. But yeah. Gotta get more fantasy stuff in general. It's been a while since I painted any Age of Sigmar stuff. A long while, actually. And I do like Age of Sigmar. I think the rule set's pretty good. But, no. I'm just very much on a 40k kick at the moment. Especially with Kill Team. I think Kill Team's just a great game all by itself. But yeah, it's what I should do at least is, if Mocha and I play Blood Bowl in the near future, if we aren't streaming it, I will at least record it, because it's really fun. It's really fun to play against her. Because like, she goes into a rage if she's losing, which gives me life. And if she does well, even if it's like a single play, she'll get like unjustifiably smug about it. It's hilarious. It's really cute. Does Nuffle even have a canon design? I don't think he does. Even Old World, I've been trying to collect Old World books, but I have to go on eBay or something. Yeah, I mean, they did re-release Old World to an extent. I know because I got the Tomb King set, because I've always loved the Tomb King's design, but I never owned any of the models. And then when Age of Sigmar came along and they disappeared, I was really sad. But now they're back. Yay, mummies and skeletons. And I really want to build the Tomb King's Blood Bowl team that came with the 3rd edition box, because I'm gonna play the heck out of them. Because I did play Tomb Kings in the video game Blood Bowl 2, and I really liked how they played. Undead teams in general are just really fun. They're very bashy and quirky. God, look at these. My hands. Though I've been told, I don't know what it was, but if any of you remember Anne, Ragged Anne, I miss her. She's amazing. There was one time she was hanging out watching me do a painting stream, and she mentioned, like, for some reason it's apparently nice to see my hand covered in paint for some reason. I wasn't really sure of the reason for it. Like, maybe because it gives like handyman vibes. Like, I'm just working with my hands. Yeah. Although I think the amount on my hands is a little extreme for that. I gotta check up on Anne, see how she's doing. It's a really good friend. Off to bed and don't want to be rude, not say goodnight. Oh, okay. Have a good night, Nacho, and thank you so much for the raid again. This is really good to see you. Anytime you want to chat, just hit me up. Got the Sigmar and Nagash omnibuses, as well as Gotrek and Felix Omnibus 1, and Thankful and Bone Ripper Book 1. Ooh. It's another model I have to paint. I have Nagash's model in pieces in the basement. Because I was painting him in sub-assemblies, and then I got distracted by other projects, and I never finished him. But I love Nagash. When I played Age of Sigmar, I was pretty exclusively a Death Army player. I love the undead. Although I do have some old Warriors of Chaos models as well, or Slaves to Darkness, I believe they were renamed. But those were, when I played Chaos, mostly it was back during the Old World stuff, so they still have the square bases. And then I got some Marauders later when Age of Sigmar came out, because I was building like a Marauder-themed army. And I got the Thankful and Bone Ripper mini. Yeah. So much good stuff. I had thought about getting Skaven as well, because they just look so cool, and just I've seen fully painted Skaven armies before, and they just look amazing. All those like crazy devices and just swarms of troops. It's great. But I really liked like skeletons and zombies, and because I did play a fair amount of vampire counts back in the Old World. So I think it's Soulblight now. That's the particular subfaction of Death that I really like. At some point, I'd like to get into Warcry, which is like Kill Team, but for Age of Sigmar. I'd love to play a Soul Blight team for that. Like vampire-based and some zombies. And 1, make my Chaos Good designs. 2, figure out how to get them into physical miniatures in some way. 3, paint for profit. Yeah. I mean, basically, because they're gods, and they're like chaos gods in particular. You know, they're born of an idea. They're manifestations of ideas. So I guess that's why they never gave them official forms, because they're kind of formless that way. But there's lots and lots of fan art, especially of Slaanesh, which I don't recommend looking into if that would be inappropriate. Slaanesh is definitely 18+. But Khorne, Tzeentch, and Nurgle go nuts. Yeah, the representations of the Chaos Gods that we've seen are all just like fan ideas of what they might look like. Which I think are pretty cool. Like, the Nurgle stuff seems pretty spot on, I think. And as for Slaanesh, I mean, Slaanesh, I think it's in the lore that when Slaanesh appears to somebody, it's in the form of like whatever physicality that person would desire most. So Slaanesh can literally be anyone and anything. And Tzeentch, I mean, we just gotta throw our hands up with Tzeentch. Like, who freaking knows? He is unknowable. Khorne and Nurgle are the two like more straightforward ones that way. Khorne, just big, angry, brooding warrior who likes skulls. And Nurgle, just he chonk. One board game I really, really love, Chaos in the Old World. It's so good. I've got the physical version, and it's on Tabletop Simulator as well, so I've played it with some VTuber friends. It's so much fun. You play as the 4 Chaos Gods trying to corrupt the Warhammer Fantasy world. And there's like multiple ways to end the game. Like, either one of the players can win for their respective god, or like the world could become so corrupted that it just gets destroyed, and whoever did the most corrupting wins by default. Or the old world could just weather the assault of chaos and all of the chaos gods lose. So, it's a really fun game. I especially love playing Nurgle in that game. He's got the most fun playstyle to me. Just like they took on physical forms to bestow upon the world curses, blessings, whatever. Pretty sure Play on Tabletop did something similar with the Mono God Chaos Legions and the 40k Tabletop. Ooh. Yeah, it's mostly like I think it's a lore thing that basically whenever the Chaos Gods interact with the world, it's not directly. It's always like through their demons, which are just extensions of them. I have to imagine things would have to get pretty crazy for the Chaos Gods to actually like step in themselves and get their hands dirty, but I don't think they can even leave the warp. But if a battle were to take place in the warp... The Chaos Gods manifested into reality would break the universe. That sounds about right. One thing I did hear, however, I did see a tweet about this. The rumor is we're getting a lot of Primarchs this year. And pretty sure that includes Chaos Primarchs. I'm like 90 to 95% certain Perturabo is going to be one of them, and I'm very excited about that because I love the Iron Warriors. But I am very excited to see what others are coming in. I feel like maybe Vulcan, because they've been teasing him a lot. And I think, oddly enough, I am pretty sure Ferrus Manus is coming back somehow. Dude got decapitated, but he is part of a cyborg legion, so anything could happen. Could just be his head chilling in a jar inside a dreadnought. Yeah, I mean, with all the Iron Warrior stuff they're teasing now, like, they have to be releasing Perturabo. There's no way they're not doing him. And I can't wait to see what he looks like. I'm just picturing, like, a machine-based Demon Primarch. That is awesome. Yeah, so there are 4 Chaos Gods. I have heard whispers that there might be 4 more somewhere down the line, but it's very unclear from what I've seen. But yeah, for forever and ever and ever, there's pretty much just been 4. There was that 5th Chaos God somewhere, but we don't really talk about him. Legions of the Damned with Ferrus Manus as the leader would be most likely. That would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I was never huge into Ferrus Manus, but that would be pretty cool. I wonder if it's too much to hope for Lorgar, because he is away in his hell church hiding from a bird. But if they release Corvus Corax, I suppose Lorgar would be a logical release to come out alongside him. Bashtor would definitely ascend in all. Yeah, that would make sense. What other Primarchs? I would love to see Jagatai Khan come back. Since he's like been chilling in the webway, maybe like maybe he comes like tearing out of there on the back of an Eldar jet bike. If Lorgar came back, I feel Corvus Corax would come back with him. Yeah, that would make sense. Like, Lorgar returns to the material universe, and Corvus is like just following him like his shadow. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. We'll get you. Oh, Corvus, you edgelord. Oh, playlist finished. Which means I'm probably gonna call it pretty soon, but not yet. Put some more music on. There we go. If there were other Chaos Gods in the Warhammer universe based on various other forms of chaos, who knows? It's entirely possible. Just the ones that we know are the big ones. Like, theoretically, if someone does what the Eldar did, then yes, like another Chaos God could absolutely be born. If there's not already existing ones that we don't know about. Like, the lore around the Eldar is insane. It's actually the reason I love the Eldar so much, because their lore is so crazy. Very extensive. But essentially, yeah, the Eldar are responsible for the creation of Slaanesh, the chaos god of sensory excess and indulgence. Basically, they murder Gundagat into existence. And then their entire race got messed up as a result. Slaanesh just like ate 90% of their souls. That's what you get. So I'm going to finish this white, and then I think I'll call it. I'll probably do the orange off stream. Chaos gods implies the existence of law gods. I guess technically the Emperor would qualify as that. And potentially the death god that the Eldar are trying to make. Still see it through it a little bit. On that other template, the 1, 2, 3 one, I think the white is all set, but I think I need one more coat on the straight one. What? She used to be allied with Order. Yeah, he was. Like, for some reason, like, Sigmar made this council of Order, and he invited freaking Nagash to join it. Like, oh yeah, just like this Archleech and God of Undeath. Yeah, I'm gonna invite him to join my council to keep order. Which I guess from a certain standpoint makes sense, because Nagash did keep the undead in check, but like... dude's evil as heck. He's the freaking god of death at this point. He's not good. He's not a good guy. Sigmar's like, no, we can all be friends. I know there was more nuance to it than that, but... It's like, how could he have expected that alliance to work? If I'm not mistaken, weren't the orc gods in on it too? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read any fantasy lore. Worked for a bit before the Age of Chaos, so clearly Sigmar was doing something right. I don't want to give him too much credit. This makes me want to play Vermintide again. That's such a good game. I do need one more coat on this one. Let's take my freed Gorka Morka from somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, because I could have sworn, like, I had read a little bit about, like, the council and its members, and I was like, why is the orc god there? If you're trying to keep a council devoted to order, generally speaking, you don't want to bring the orcs in on it. They're kind of the opposite of that. They just like to hit things. Yeah, I wish I'd been more into fantasy around the time the end time stuff was coming out. That would have been fun to get into a lot of thematic battles revolving around it. Some of the more interesting 40k factions. Depends who you ask. It all depends on one's personal tastes. I mean, like, Space Marines are generally considered the standard start, because one, like, in-game, they're really strong. They're generally easy to pick up. They're easier to paint. They're more straightforward, so they're very accessible to new players. And there's a whole lot of miniatures that they have because they get the most love. So Space Marines are always good. But like there's so many factions. It all depends what you like. Necrons are really cool too. Yep. Nothing wrong with Necrons. They've got a really cool aesthetic. Their weapons are a little hard to paint if you're trying to do them like the canon way. Some of y'all saw that with the Xenophase sword that I did with my Deathwatch. This'n. So generally you have to use like the kind of techniques I did for this to paint the Necron weapons. So doing that for a whole army might be a little daunting for some people. I mean, for me, I really like Chaos and the Chaos Demons. They are pretty straightforward as far as painting goes. Some more complex than others, especially like the Tzeentch stuff. But Nurgle stuff is really fun to paint. I love painting like boils and pus and blood and guts and rust. All those like weathering effects and stuff. That's all really fun for me. I also recommend, I do highly, highly recommend the Bricky videos on Warhammer lore. I can post the... Let me post one of them. So he's done a couple of these series. I personally prefer the original Every Faction Explained stuff. He did the Every Faction Re-Explained, which is a lot more immersive, and he did like a lot more research, so it's more like information filled, but if you want like a really fun, like silly, kind of user-friendly packaged lore rundown, that right there is part 1 of his Every Faction Explained, and it's really good. Part 1 just deals with the Imperial factions, and then this one I'm about to post, this one is for Chaos and the different alien factions. So it includes all the major factions that you could possibly play, and a little lore rundown on them and how they play on the tabletop, and it's really fun to watch and very informative, especially for a new user or new player. So, and then he has a separate video where he like talks specifically about the Space Marine legions. So if you're interested in Space Marines and you don't know what like flavor of Space Marine you want to do, that video is really good for that. Yeah. So just like Warhammer lore videos in general are really fun. I also look up Warhammer tribute videos, which are basically just like music set to a slideshow of different artwork of various factions. So if any of the factions in the lore videos interest you, start looking up some tributes and some fan art of them, and that'll show you a lot of what their miniature lines have to offer. Let's see. Okay, so it's past 9:30, so Mocha should be getting home right about now. So I'm probably gonna split pretty soon. Go see my dragon wife. Let's watch some of Pancreas No Works videos. Ooh, okay. I haven't seen those. To give that a gander. Okay. So overall, we've got a pretty good amount done today. We have finished the highlights on all of the gray buildings and the craters. So I'm going to be on those next, going in and doing all the detail work, picking out all the metallics and the lights and other stuff. I didn't get to the statue at all today, but it's been sitting just off camera this entire time. So what I'll probably do is dry brush her up sometime this week, and then maybe on Friday I can show you how I do the copper verdigris effect on her. That would be really cool. Aesthetically, it would 40k orcs slash custom OCs, 40k OCs slash custom factions slash custom legions be semi-canon in the sense that, oh yeah, you could absolutely come up with your own color schemes. Like I do that for my Eldar. I've got a small Eldar army that I paint up in my own unique color scheme. I like created my own craft world and lore for them. So there's a lot of creative opportunity with the game. You can just go nuts and do your own thing. A lot of people like sticking to the canon stuff just because they like the story, but that is by no means something you have to stick to. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So let's. Space Marines could easily be framed as one of the 2 Lost Legions. Absolutely. Or just like a successor chapter to an existing legion or something like that. You can absolutely do that. All right. So let's see. Where could we go? Oh, oh, you know what? Hannah recently passed her exams, so I think she is just unwinding with some Marvel Rivals today. So why don't we go and visit her? Let's see. Yeah, she's only been on for an hour and a half, so she's probably going to be gone for a while. All right, so we are delivering a Wolfpack Love Attack to a heckin' adorable Danger Noodle. So off we go. Let me put her name in. Let me just make sure I have it right. So I will be back on Wednesday over on Teeny's channel for some Crooked Moon. And then Friday, we will be back at the painting table, where I'll be working more on some terrain projects as we wind our way towards getting those battle reports filmed. So, yeah, so I will see you guys on Wednesday as an Angry Pumpkin Man. In the meantime, be good out there, be kind, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye for now, travelers.